Tonight, we go super speedway racing under the lights as the Mystic Racing League looks to build off its closest finish ever at Daytona. This evening, the field is ready to go all out with its second race of the 2025 season, the Fesler's Excavating Pump 200. Need excavation work? How about a septic installation? Land clearing? Yeah, we cover that too. Fesler's Excavating and Pump offers multiple top-tier services and always strives with leaving their customers highly satisfied. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's coverage from iRacing's virtual Atlanta Motor Speedway from VSPEED here for the MRL. I'm Justin Prince. Alongside the booth for tonight is Scott Shive with DJ Line working the controls as our producer using cameras provided by Whiplash Sim Cams. Scott, these drivers get ready to go super speedway for the second consecutive race. And tonight, it's a different racetrack compared to Daytona, to say the very least. It is the Quad Oval racetrack of Atlanta tonight.
Yeah, Atlanta Motor Speedway, as we know, recently turned into a super speedway at this 1.5-mile track. Obviously, those degrees of banking now up to 24. And this track, obviously a super speedway like last week, but very different from Daytona, but will provide excellent racing like we saw last week. You mentioned it, JP. I mean, the closest finish the Mystic Racing League has ever seen. And this track here out of Hampton, Georgia, the 1.5-miler at Atlanta, will do the trick tonight.
1,000 was the difference at Daytona. Tonight, we might see something similar. Remember, it was here where just last year in real-life NASCAR Cup Series competition, it was 3 wide photo finish for the victory, where Daniel Suarez picked up that win. We'll see what the Mystic Racing League is able to replicate here for themselves here tonight. Here's a look at the schedule. And remember, much of the season following the real-world calendar when it comes to some of the event outside of a couple specials like Eldora, like Road America coming in April, as well as tracks like Magello in the summertime. But, Scott, it's still very early in the season. It's still early to be able to pick up stage points and, in turn, set a tempo for the championship.
Yeah, I mean, this is a marathon, JP. A long season like this, I mean, what are we, about 8 months long or so in this season? So it is really a marathon for a lot of these guys. It's all about picking up those consistent finishes and minimizing mistakes all season long, race to race. And that starts here at Atlanta. It started at Daytona. It continues on here at Atlanta. As we know, super speedway racing, nothing is ever guaranteed, and anything at all. If there ever was anything guaranteed at racing, the last place it would be these super speedways. So you got to do everything you can. And something important tonight, we got 130 laps. Don't push too early.
Absolutely. At this point, it's going to be an interesting night, to say the very least, especially with the gauntlet of back-to-back super speedway races. It's going to make things very intriguing for the early portion of the standings, to say the very least, with drivers like Wren, like Zachary King, like Joshua Thornton, looking to build off the momentum of last time out at Daytona. As these drivers get themselves ready to go for the qualifying, let's take a listen in for the national anthem. Please rise for your national anthem. Looking at live Atlanta Motor Speedway here in iRacing from Hampton, Georgia, as we are in the midst of the qualifying session. 5 minutes, 2 stalled qualifying laps to determine your starting grid here tonight from Atlanta. Scott, how do you qualify the best when it comes to a track like this, knowing it's full out, but it's still Atlanta? It's not easy to pick the right line.
Yeah, I mean, with a place like this, I mean, obviously we see at Daytona and places like Talladega, you want to paint that bottom yellow line. But here at Atlanta, you do want to be on the bottom on that red line for most of the night, but you go through the quad oval and you want to keep that as straight as possible, keep it as flowing as you can behind that wheels. We see a lot of drivers, Colin Bollinger, going to the top of the charts right now with that 31.2, but really you want to keep it smooth here all around the track.
Already, drivers setting times to 3:12s, 2/1000 of a second, setting the top of the board. Bollinger over Bobby Rafferty. Rafferty, heartbreak last time out. Remember, had a lane violation when it came to the choose cone that took him out of the contention. Because that coming right before what was essentially the final restart. Now we'll see if he's going to be able to make things up tonight, because he looked very solid at Daytona. We know Bobby Rafferty from various other leagues can be very fast throughout the season.
Yeah, I mean, admin made it clear on that rule. They sent a few days ago. They even pinned the message today. They gave a diagram of how you need to choose. If you're going to the top, you need to be up along that wall. If you're going to the bottom, you need to be on that yellow line or the bottom line. Nowhere in between, or you will get a penalty. So they've made that very clear.
You know what's also going to be very clear here tonight? That pit road entry is going to be very different for the drivers, because here on iRacing, they have now moved that pit entry commitment line to what it is in real life in turn 3, which is a lot more different for drivers than they're used to compared to before that, where they'd still be diving off turn 4. Not expecting green flag stops per se tonight, but it is something for drivers to keep in mind for pit road in terms of entering the lane as the night progresses.
Yeah, I got to race in a league last week that I get to do, and we raced here at Atlanta with that new pit entry like it is in the real world in turn 3, and man, it is difficult. But tonight they probably will not incur that under green flag, but you never know. Again, a lot of things can happen here tonight, but that is definitely a factor at this newly paved Atlanta.
Overall, what are you watching out for the most tonight in a race like this? Knowing it's under the lights, but it's still bumpy, it's still difficult, and knowing the tire work coming into play, what are you keeping an eye on the most here for tonight?
Yeah, tire wear definitely a factor here at this 1.5 mile speedway. And so really you burn the left sides actually more than you do the rights. And so you want to be on that bottom. That bottom is going to protect your tires the most. I know that's a little bit counterintuitive because it is the bottom lane, but it is a little bit faster to wrap and honestly actually easier. Another thing, 130 laps. That's a lot of laps around this place. Drivers have to start calm. I mean, you can't see guys trying to make it 3 wide on lap 10, 20, 30 and get the field in a bad situation. You want to be calm here tonight because you could go to the back to the front in 2 laps and same from the front to the back. So you really want to be calm and try to, minimizing mistakes. I'll say it all season long, especially at a place where an inch of a mistake here could lead to 20 cars wrecked.
Qualifying just came to a close. 29 of the 30 drivers in the field did set times for tonight. Should be a fun night to see what happens. It's just about time to look at how we'll start tonight for this field. 6th at a time, we start things off. Colin Bollinger will start on the pole. Bobby Rafferty does hold on to 2nd. Christian Barnes and Anthony Trippi in the top 4. Isaac Wilson will start in 5th tonight. John Ullman in the 6th position. 7th spot tonight goes to Caleb Hunt in the 78. Then it's Craig Hawkins will start off in 8th. Stephen McComas will start in 9th. And Andrew Shope will round out your top 10, Scott.
Back there in 11th, that's the 24 of Brett Wren, and then it's Evan Jankic to his outside in the 71. Then in the 08 and 13th, it's David Wallace, and then Benjamin Gerhard there in the number 1. 15th and 16th there is Joshua Thornton and Alex Pollock. 17th and 18th will be that 82 of Jared Kopensnyder and the 88 of Robert McKay. Then rounding out your top 20, 19th and 20th will be Adam Holston and Rayshawn Wingfield.
Joey Beam starts back in 21st spot, just a 10th off the pole, not even a 10th. That's how close qualifying was. Tony Brennan in 22nd. Landon Stoker should say, in 23rd. Isaac Brock start in 24th. Reggie Kime in 25th. Zach White 26th. With Joshua Gillen in 27th. Your last drivers on time are Andrew Allen and Aubrey Lord. Aaron Espy rounds out the 30-car field. EOL penalties for the 07 of Trippy and the 88 of Robert McKay. Of note, McKay had missed the drivers' meeting. That's why he got his respective penalty here tonight. So the drivers get themselves ready to go racing under the lights. Let's take the time to talk things through for tonight in terms of your distances. Stages at laps 40 and 80 for points. So it's 40, 40, and 50 on the breakdown, 130 laps to full distance, just 3 tire sets available in the pits. So there's not a lot of wiggle room, Scott, in terms of those tires to utilize in the pit lane.
Yeah, you're going to have a perfect night in terms of tires. You're going to take at least at the stage breaks, and it gives you an opportunity to take one if we get a late race caution. And I say if, it's really probably going to be more about when, because as we know, when these speedway races wind down, they get hairy near the end. 19 degrees Celsius here for the degrees, and then on track it will be 19 as well. So we'll put those in Fahrenheit, and that's 66 and 67. I don't know about you, Justin, but I had no idea the translation between Celsius and Fahrenheit.
Well, I can tell you it's pretty mild, is what you can really say. That's the answer to that question. But your quick keys to victory.
Yeah, I mean, I think one, again, staying patient throughout this early portion, and then in the end, being near the front, making your way to the front, and making that move. We know it's probably going to come down to the last lap, and so you're going to have to be in the right position and make the right move out of turn 4.
The Fesler's Excavating and Pump 200 is set to go. Off and away we go. Green flag is out. We're underway from Atlanta. Bolger taking the lead off of turn 4 after having a very rough start in the initial box. But he gets the lead the first lap of 40 for the first stage, as we'll see a lot of momentum swings with these lines. The bottom going to be pretty quick at least to start, but that outside going to be very powerful down the front straightaway in particular.
Yeah, and something I want to mention here, iRacing did an update last Tuesday to the drafting model, so it is extremely different than it was previously, and drivers have been getting used to it all week as we see the 7 here of Bobby Rafferty try to move to the outside, take that lead. He will lead this lap number 2, so new leader.
And he's got a teammate behind him as well. That's going to help. That's going to be the Ancient World Gaming Machines 1 and 2 on the track for now. Teamwork makes the dream work in super speedways, and that's going to be very helpful for Columbus. He was also close to coming away with a win. The third member of that Ancient World Gaming squad, remember, had that hand injury during the race in the final stages tonight, looking to find his way up to his teammates. Still keeping an eye on things as we go through 1 and 2 here, and so far, so calm, 2 by 2, much of the field, Scott.
Yeah, a lot of guys, you'll see them continuing calm, but you'll see a lot of drivers snaking, got a little bit of the wiggles, as we'll call them. But again, that's because of this new drafting model. And I want to talk about it here real quick while we have just some time, is because it is very different. I mean, I would say it is extremely accurate to how you would expect the drafting model to be in real life. When you lose the draft or get out of the draft, you get caught back in a hurry, way more than it used to be. So it is so important to be linked up to your partner, to your teammate, whoever's around you. Another mention, if you get any damage whatsoever tonight within the iRacing registry, if you were at the back of a line, no matter what, you will lose the draft.
We've seen a fair bit of people lose the draft at Daytona. We've actually lost people with the draft already. 24th on back has lost toe to the rest of the field. Some of the drivers back there are starting to get some speed built up, trying to ramp up and keep the draft. But these drivers like Trippy, who had the EOL penalty, like Gillen, like Zach White, Robert McKay, who also had an EOL penalty, have already lost toe to the leaders. They're running 30.1s. The leaders are 2/10 quicker a lap.
And that's one thing about starting in the back like that, whether it be penalty or off of qualifying. It is easier to lose the draft now than it ever was before. But honestly, some guys might like to start in that backpack there. You've got 4 of them together back with Trippy as we continue to look up here on the bottom line. It's easy to lose that, but it's easy to stay safe out of the recipe that could be for disaster. Because if you're in this mid-pack, we look along right here with this battle for 13th, if something goes wrong, I mean, you are in the hornet's nest.
Absolutely. This is a racetrack that's going to make a lot of people pay. They make mistakes here tonight. Once one of the drivers looking at that is Gerhard, that came into this season as a free agent, he mentioned, has also been someone in real life part of winning his first late model race as a spotter. He's also had the ability to spot multiple cars at once when it comes to his in real life work. That's a lot of talent to spot 2 cars at once at a racetrack.
I don't think I could do it. I mean, there's so much that happens at these places, no matter where you race or whatever cars you race. There's always stuff going on. So 2, that is impressive. What does he have, 3 eyes?
Yeah. The interesting thing is, he's actually got a unique car number for this league. Technically, his official number is T1D because he's a type 1 diabetic since he's been 12 years old. Hence why some of the sponsorship you see on the race car as well involving diabetics care. He thought he would be the only dirt guy, so he came up with this number sandwich when he started his journey, his words, for iRacing, to be able to also make it unique and promote awareness to diabetes.
I think that's definitely unique, and you love it. And you see a lot of these guys up front getting single file. Gerhard, the last driver right here in this front line. Got to get down and make sure you don't lose that draft. He's about 0.2 of a second back, so within that range, but behind them, it's still double file.
Yeah, most of the field preferring to run the bottom. I've seen people run the top pretty well before as well, but here's the thing. These cars provide a lot of sway, I've noticed, Scott, in the corners at speed. You might have drivers push up half a lane here in Atlanta.
Yeah, it's really easy, especially off the corners, to move up off that line, and it can be very dangerous when you've got cars on your outside. So like you said, they just don't plant as much at a track like this. The banking just a little bit tighter, obviously, and the corners being tighter themselves. So it's a bit harder to keep those cars, wrapped to the bottom and glued to that bottom line. As you see cars, you sway right here through the quad oval. That's something that we're going to see all night long, and as we maybe later on at the end of the stage get back to double file, something that might cause problems.
Brett Wren, who had that good finish with 5-Star Racing last week, as Amonsto's in the back here, seeming like Amonsto's just dropping back and back and back as the top line just has not solidified itself yet. Wren, remember, picking up that win in a close finish, and is a part of a 5-car group. Knopsteiner, Holston, Schob, Wren, and then Alex Pollock rounding out those in the field. Some of those 5-star racing cars electing to run in the back right now.
I mean, I like that move. At this point, you know, we're only 14 laps complete so far, working on lap number 14. And so we've got, again, a long time to go here as we look here at the driver cam of Brett Wren. And got his sim going on. Very focused, you can see behind the wheel at super speedways. You got to be focused, and you know he was last week.
Had to be focused for what was a close finish and a wild finish, to say the very least. Just staying in comfortable line, just trying to get the outside working, but he is losing ground. Knobsnyder just made the pass on him after all. They are in the midst of lap traffic. Craig Hawkins, who started from the pit road, is being lapped by the field. Now Wren is in the wall. Wren just drove it up too high and hit the wall.
Oh, and I'll say something about that. I mean, this top line is treacherous. I mean, more at places like Daytona, again, those corners are so broad that you're really not much different from the bottom to the top. But here at Atlanta, that top line is dangerous. You're so close to that wall. And like we said, when we come out of these corners, that car does not stick to the bottom as much to where you were running. So you do drift up. So it is so easy to get into that wall like we saw from Brett Wren.
Interesting enough, doesn't look like he had any damage from that hit. But he's still maintaining this grouping up front. Meanwhile, it's still Rafferty, Wilson, and Barnes. Just maintaining a good rhythm is what you can say for this lead pack. Running 30.1s, the fall off is starting to kick in.
Fall off starting to kick in. We're only halfway, working on lap number 18. So these drivers continuing to keep it calm for now. Bobby Rafferty continues to lead. He's led since lap number 2. And look at that. Bollinger has fallen to the 6th position in that bottom line. So from pole down to 6th.
Still up front though, and still in stage points. That's got to be the main thing for some of these drivers, as the leaders are starting to communicate over the radio with the lap traffic. 2 more cars up the road. Aubrey Lord and Aaron Espy, who lost the draft near immediately to start this race off, both electing to run the high side this time, no problem. So we take a look at some of the others in the midst of this pack. Let's see some on board, shall we? This is Pollock. He's running in 9th, one of the FSR cars wanting to be in the front.
Yeah, running in 9th, you mentioned it, in the ability for those stage points right now. Probably wants to move up just a little bit, but again, we've got so much time, A, in this race, but B, in the championship. But again, every point could matter as we come to the close of the regular season. You never know what 1 point could get you.
I will say about that display in the backdrop I just noticed, I don't think that was built up as much last week, if correct me if I'm wrong. He apparently has added, I can't tell if those were soup cans all in the backdrop.
We'll have to get another look at some point.
Yeah, I'm curious. Let's see this again. Yeah, those are
I want to say that's like tomato paste.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hey, that's on par with soup.
And a bunch of die-cast cars, including a bunch of Joey Logano cars, I believe. 3 of them at least, or at least a couple Penske racing machines. But, hey, sometimes people just want to stand out with their displays, and in this case, Pollock able to stand out and make it noticeable.
Hey, that man is standing out whether he loves soup or tomatoes. He's got it out. He's on track right now again, running in 9th, continually probably wants to move forward in the 92. I love that paint scheme he's got. You don't often see Dr. Pepper in blue.
Different look compared to the first time out, but this pack is starting to splinter a little bit, I've noticed. Remember that fall off we were talking about? Some of these drivers are getting very, very careful on the throttle. A lot of modulation down the straightaways, and some people are losing toe, and others are trying to make passes. There's a look at one of them trying to make the pass. That is Wingfield that said, I want to try the top here.
Yeah, Wingfield out there all alone. The 29 of Thornton coming up here to the outside, going to be able to pick up that 23, gives him a shove. Want to be so careful when pushing cars because it is so easy to turn someone. So we're getting a little bit more double file now. 25 laps complete so far as we continue to look back here on this number 69, or excuse me, the 23. And it continues to get that tag. We see a great shot of the radiator.
Well, here's the thing. This group has just splintered. About 9th on back has now lost the draft as things have now solidified. 10th on back should say. They've now, with all this shuffling, going to have to try and find a way to get closed up and quick there outside drafting distance.
Well, when you get single file like this, like these 4 cars up here right now, being led currently by that 23 of Wingfield. When you can get single file like this, you can catch that pack. Saw the other night when I was racing, about 6 cars or so were single filed on the bottom, were able to catch them. Wingfield just coming over the radio, being a little bit shy to Thornton there. They want to be careful about that pushing. You saw the 23 get a little bit sideways.
He just set his fastest lap of the race too with those pushes, by the way. That's because he picked up at least 4 or 5 miles an hour just with how quickly they were able to hook up to close back the pack. Good effort to close up the group, and he's lost the bottom for his efforts.
Gonna get hung out to dry. That's something that is so easy here at a track like this in Super Speedways. Will try to pick it back up on the back of Andrew Allen. And he'll try to get that. Andrew Allen setting the fastest lap that time around, the 29.5. So really still cars out here able to make these laps. But look, this pack now back caught up with these leaders.
Interesting enough, that fast-loving motorsports machine you see in the green and black set a couple fastest laps already today. It's been blistering quick as an arrow driver. Janik has lost the bottom of the racetrack. More people are starting to wobble. This is where trouble can start to come in as people start to slide.
Yeah, I saw Janik earlier just a moment ago. He was running up in that top 5 and he lost it, was able to swoop back in up into 10th, but then falls out again. So again, difficult for some of these drivers to hold that bottom, and that doesn't get helpful when you get this type of tire wear like we do and have seen here tonight in this fall off.
Look at some of the air cars. Keep in mind, these are the lappers that have now lost the toe of the draft again. They weren't able to maintain it. Right now, these drivers going to be very hopeful that Robert McKay, Anthony Trippi, and Zach White don't get caught here by the rest of the pack, because this is for the lucky dog at the moment.
Yeah, battle for the lucky dog right here between these two. 9 to go for the stage, but look, right now it's White that has it, but will Espy be able to make a move near the end of the stage?
Espy the one with it, I should say. Lord is the one who's in the draft right now, trying to find a way around. This is where some of the drivers as well are squabbling and are at risk of losing a lap. Tepper starting to flare in this group, Gilly and leading this grouping side by side between McKay and Trippi. Zach White, right at the caboose of this grouping. They've also picked up Craig Hawkins in this pack. Now, all the squabbling not going to help them on the times. They've lost more than a second from it, and it's starting to get a little bit chippy as a result, you would say, in this group. They might lose the lead lap right at the end of the stage at the rate they're going.
Yeah, it's going to be close right now. That 88 looking along, going right ahead of him, that 007. I say 007. They're about 17 seconds back, so about half a lap or so. So it could be possible, but if they can get in a single file line here, they might just be able to keep the lead lap.
Single file lines continue up front in the lead pack, by the way. Already down to about 7 laps to go in this stage, coming to 6. That's how quickly tonight's gone so far. Your 15-20 minutes, it's gone by, boy, blink of an eye as the main pack. We'll see if anybody makes some daring moves. Do you think anyone makes some daring moves, should say, for the points? We're starting to see a couple. Bollinger just took the bottom of the racetrack in the back of this pack. Outside of that, everybody's staying stationary.
Oh man, big checkup on the bottom back here. Battle back in 7th, 8th, and 9th. Bollinger has to swing it to the top, but no help behind. So action, driver's starting to move around here now. Can he get to the inside of this 21? Probably not, because this side draft is stronger than ever with this new update model.
This time, the outside not able to get any traction. Pollock did try and get some traction to the back, but he did not go fully. Bollinger elects to go to the bottom. 5 to go in stage 1. And you see some of that squabbling now side by side of the back. No one able to move up yet. Oh, here we go. Now we have people trying the different lines. They're trying to fight for the points.
Caleb Hunt moves out up front to that second line. He needs some help, though. Joshua Thornton is on that outside line, so we might get a second row here if drivers will try to make it work. That 29 of Thornton running up here to the back of Caleb Hunt. Oh, he's going to try to go around Caleb Hunt. 3 wide.
Elects to split him. Thornton nearly up on the wall. Now some bobbling down for Moolman. Moolman able to hold on to it. Able to leapfrog cars now for 4th. Bollinger, he's on a roll. One driver in the wall. We keep racing on as Allen pulls it out of the fence. Down to a couple laps to go in the stage.
Still single file up front there, the first 4 cars, but then Bollinger leads that first outside line, 3 cars abreast. Trying to make it back up towards this front. He started on pole. He drifted back to the 10th position, waiting to make his move, and he decided that time was now.
And the next Car Cup champion find his way to the point. Right now, that outside's not moving fast enough with 2 to go in the stage. 2 laps to go. Pit road is officially closed for stage 1. Here comes the run. The 53 trying to side draft again for 4th. Can't get to the fender of the 34 yet.
Yeah, that side draft again, so strong, and it's going to be more prominent by these cars on the bottom line. There's just more of them, and so they've been able to move up there to the top 3. So now that 53 up to 4th, continuing to try to work. The 27 moves up to that line. Christian Barnes, 2 to go, 1 to go.
1 to go in stage 1. Bollinger moves his way side by side for second. Caution. Caution flag is out. It's a wreck involving some of the lappers, and that should end the stage. It was the battle for the lucky dog, SB and Lord, who brought out the caution flag here. And so Bobby Rafferty should win stage 1 here with Wilson, Barnes, Bollinger, Wakefield, Uman, Thornton, McComas. Amongst your top 8 with Hunt and Wallace. The top 10, here's the caution.
Oh man, big damage there. Aubrey Lord tries to go to the outside and does not work on that number 16 of SB. You'll see it here. SB just not able to hold the bottom and get a better run here from that 72 of Lord. And oh my goodness, that was a big hit, JP.
Very big hit. There is a faster pair available, but that's definitely going to create some big damage that will force them to use it early on. Our first caution ends up being the battle for 29th spot. We had someone enter the pit road closed. SB enter the pit road closed. Remember, you can't enter the pit road with it closed, and both the lap down cars involved in the incident went in with the pit road closed. Joey Beam as well has gone in with the lane closed. So now we get to see the drivers put on some fresh boots here. We'll see pit road open this time by officially in the Sim Scott.
Yeah, I mean, we saw a complete dominance there from Bobby to Rafferty. Got them all single filed out, and they were single file in his line all the way until that caution. We saw Bollinger trying to make a run for the front on the outside, but I don't know if there was going to be enough time. We saw that caution fly out of turn number 2, and he was only up to 4th. So Rafferty, after having some troubles last week, are doing well here so far in this first stage.
Still, you see some of the viewpoints that can. A different brand this time in position on top of the mountain. Racing in the darkness this time to go with the dark conditions, I guess you can say.
Oh, I always race in the dark. Too much glare.
Hey, sometimes it's enjoyable to race in the same elements and your show doing so. Sometimes not. But in this case,
I should crank my room temperature up to like 120.
Yes, sure. Let's say that. But pit stop time, and should see 4 tires and fuel here for the field. It could be very risky to take 2 tires, to say the very least, at Atlanta, as Rafferty leads them into the pit lane, no issue.
Want to have a clean stop here. Didn't slide the box. That's so easy to do here in these next gens. Easy to slide through that box and have to back up. So Rafferty right there. We see, I think the 27 got 2 tires. Rafferty takes 4. So the 27 of Barnes takes 2 tires. Meanwhile, everyone else takes 4.
That might be a bold strategy, Cotton, here at Atlanta. That might be very bold, as everybody else does the expected on the pit stop calls here. Let's take a quick break. More coverage coming up on VSPEED. You're watching the Mystic Racing League and the Fesler's Excavating Pump 200.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to tonight's coverage of the Mystic Racing League, brought to you in part by THDesigns, by Wade Cycles, and by Sofa News. As we get ourselves geared up and ready to go for the restart here for tonight. Stage 1 went quickly, Scott. Stage 2 sees some interesting calls. Joey Beam, I believe, is getting to keep his spot. I believe he entered when the pit may have been closed here, but he may have gotten up front and away with this. Christian Barnes took 2 tires.
Yeah, not sure how Beam pulled that one off, but we'll see what race control will say about that one. But he's on the front row right now, and 2 tires for Christian Barnes. Have to see how that will play out for him. Surprised by that call. He was running in the top 5. But hey, he's up front now.
We'll see what happens here. Beam had a 24-second pit stop. And now is the control car choosing the outside. Green flag is out. Off and away we go. And much of the bottom did not go this time.
Yeah, bad start for that 29 of Joshua Thornton. Just did not time it right. And so that bottom line got big stacked up. This might split our field immediately for this second stage.
Big time splitting when it comes to these groups. In fact, for the time being, Thornton and Pollock side by side for a moment of the backdrop, but already the outside. Bobby Rafferty takes the race lead and brings Wilson with him, but look who's doing well as well. How about Wilson trying to take it from his teammate? Oh, he backed up.
A little bit early to be trying to dive under your teammate there. Wilson tried it, but I don't know. I think he backed off for Rafferty. They'll continue to work together, and Bollinger pulls into third, where he was able to line up before we had those two drivers stay out. So the front three back to where they were, and then it is Beam and Barnes right there. That's your top five.
Already some people at least trying to get the outside going because there's no holes to dive in necessarily. Pollock, Shobe amongst those, trying to see what they can do. Big contrast compared to Daytona, not seen any bump drafting. No one's really been able to close up to the bumpers tonight.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think that's partly because of this new drafting model. I don't know if these drivers knew about it. You know, it was different than how it was at Daytona last week. And so I think a lot of these drivers playing it safe here tonight, which is something we mentioned, the 92 here trying to go to the outside of that 41, did not quite have enough speed. And so Joey Beam able to lead that outside line in front of Pollock.
Bill's dipping around the outside line. Still plenty of time to go. Our next stage ends at lap 80. Then it would be about a 50 lapper to go to the finish. Looking like these drivers just trying to pace themselves a little bit of a different line there for a split second. Everybody keeping it smooth. Last week's birthday boy, Isaac Brock, is amongst those now at the bottom. And now trying to find his way to the back end of Allen. You see the battle with the green cards at the bottom.
Yeah, that is a lot of green. You got the green wall, then we got all these green cars, 3 in a row, and then you've got Beam on the outside. So a lot of green here at this speedway for Atlanta, and whoa, they are getting squirrely here in the back. This is Brock. He barely held on to it.
Able to hold on for now. Yeah, the interesting thing is going to be how some of these drivers, or the couple that took different strategies here, going to fare. I'm curious how the 27's going to fare, if anything, this run, because these drivers were getting looser and looser as the run went on 4 freshies over the course of 40 laps before.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I definitely want to see how it plays out for him, because if Barnes is able to stay up there, stay on that bottom or whatever line he is running near the end of this second stage, this might see drivers be like, hey, we might be able to do this. But then fuel comes into play. 50 laps will be pretty much a full tank here for a lot of these drivers. They can maybe make it a few more, but if you take 2 tires, you're going to get significantly less fuel than you would if you were taking 4. And so it's going to be one that maybe we'll see some different strategies play out in that final stage.
Holston Concrete Machine, seeing him go right to the bumper of somebody. Outside line, that is Anthony Trippi, who's really taking advantage of timing the caution flag. He went from the back to the mid-pack already. As a result of the restart and the pit stop sequence, not bad for the 07.
And not bad for him, but right now stuck on that outside line. No one able to pick him up out there, so he might get hung out to dry here. Oh!
Back straightaway, John Ullman getting all sorts of out of shape. The 34 from 4th spot got bumped out of the way by Joshua Thornton. We stay green as the 34 had to fight it.
Oh my goodness, I was looking at Trippi from the rear camera, and then boom, big moment there for the 34. And we'll take a look back at it here under our VSPEED replay.
Keep an eye on the corner exit. And he's already got the wiggles in the first place, but corner exit, bam, into the bumper.
I believe that was Andrew Allen that was on his bumper there, and just right out of the corner, got just a bit less grip than he would have wanted to, and that 96 was right there and just turned him a little bit. Great save by that 34.
That was 29. In fact, that would have been Joshua Thornton in that case. 3 wide as the 53 gets uprooted out of the way. Bollinger, like the last stage, not balling to start. Now he gets pushed back by the run being built up by the outside by Trippy.
Yeah, he's back in 10th, exactly where he was earlier in this first stage. So it looks like something, he's got to be doing this on purpose, because it is the exact same thing he did earlier. He went from first, he went all the way back to 10th eventually in the middle of the stage, and then worked himself back up towards the front.
The packs have broken up again, by the way. Andrew Shove is now leading the second pack, near a second and a half back. Right now, this main group, 10 cars deep. Here's the second gaggle of cars. Not a lot in this numbering. Robert McKay, of note, is amongst those who have gone from the 20s to the teens to be in this pack.
Yeah, these drivers need to get single file. They need to work together here if they want to try to catch that lead pack. Let's see, that 69 of Shobe, 1.5 seconds back from that of Anthony Trippy. And so they're going to have to work together and get single filed out here if they want to make that. Now it's 3 cars breaking away right here. And that's, what is it? I think it's those 3 right there led by Shobe.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of shuffling from some of these cases back here. Oh, it's a near contact now. And this is splintering the pack even more so. The second grouping, Knobstadt losing a lot of ground. Beam getting moved all the way to the back as some more conversation over the radio because of that near contact.
Yeah, that was extremely close there. While those drivers in that second pack were working with that, we saw a lot of this third pack catch them. So now up to 2 packs. This is back up at the front, up in this top 10. The top 10 are all up in this pack, and they're back to double file. Oh my gosh, 27 down the road, able to save it. He was sideways there, JP.
Right down the front straight away, and this might be where the tires start to really come into play for the 27. Normally you don't see people get loose down the front stretch here.
Yeah, let's definitely keep an eye on, oh man, near contact there between Pollock and the 07. They're 3 wide here for a moment with Bollinger on the outside, and they're going to lose a ton of time because of this going back to the back. But they are fighting for it here, and we've still got halfway to go in this second stage.
New leader Joshua Thornton, by the way, as Rafferty this time clips the apron. These drivers not being so patient when it comes to the first stage. It was single file until late. This stage, it's a little bit more racy as people try and dictate their control of this pack.
Yeah, back up here now, double file, 4 rows deep now between these front 8. And so they are going for it here, and we still have a lot of laps to complete here in this stage, but man, the racing is getting hairy. I don't know. Oh my goodness, big wiggle up front there with Andrew Allen. The green cars are all back together again, JP.
Have to say that might be intentional for the color scheme. Those are teammates, 1 and 2 at least on the line. Yes. So that outside line now prevails. The green cars, 1, 2, 3. And guess who's coming back as well? Bollinger. He's back on the prowl and moving his way back to 3rd.
Now Bollinger continues. I mean, he continues to go first to 10th, first to 10th, and everywhere in between. He has continued to move around, now leading this outside line. We look here down to the bottom. This is the camera of Andrew Allen riding the back of his teammate in Joshua Thornton. And man, they are all stuck together here right now. But man, this racing is getting close, JP.
Look at how much movement he has on that steering wheel, by the way. You can just see how much the bumps are really factoring in the corners and how much he's having to go more to the right to counter steer in some cases.
Yeah, Again, I mean, if you ever think these drivers are just turning left, I mean, they are not. I mean, it is the small micro adjustments through every bend, and caution flies on lap number 65. Oh my goodness, it was that second pack, JP.
We're about 13th or so on back. And we're under caution for the second time in total here tonight as that second group comes splintering apart. Let's take a look.
It all started here with Andrew Schob. That's the 15 there on the outside. That's Landon Stoker. Let's see what commences here. Double file for them as well, fighting for position. Oh, it was a 23 car there, got into the back of Schob and turned him right. That was Winkfield.
Let's take a look at our angle. Knopsteiner and Wallace at the very minimum meatball flags, and a lot more potential chassis damage here. Looks like contact for the 23, and that sparks our biggest incident of the night so far.
Yeah, it involved that 24, Brett Wren as well. Innocent bystander. He goes, look on here from Winkfield. And yeah, just goes a little bit high, and they both make contact. Oh man, big hit for Wren.
Yeah, that may not be a meatball, but it certainly might be chassis damage, as a lot of people are still catching up to get to the pace car, as a lot of people having to come down to pit road early. Interesting enough, Christian Barnes had just also ducked down to pit lane this previous time by here. So we'll see what race control has to say as the rest of the field elected not to pit the previous time here.
Yeah, I really wonder if this will allow drivers, I wonder if some of them will imagine to stay out here at the stage. Will some drivers pit now and stay out at the stage, and then maybe we'll get a caution, bank on a late race caution in the middle of the final stage. So this middle caution here in the middle of this second stage might flip up some of these strategies for drivers.
Yeah. Pits are supposed to be closed according to some people on the radio here, but some people are still ducking down, like Janik and Reggie Kime. So a couple people are thinking of flipping the script potentially. So this race so far, all right, flying by. We're choosing this time by. It is closed in sim, so a few people have ducked down to the lane, and despite that said, I'm going to just take the penalty and go to the back as the lane. Oh, somebody hit the wall.
Oh, goodness.
I think Trippy just hit the wall trying to choose.
Having some problems. Hey, look, they did say get close to the wall.
A lot of people choosing the bottom outside of Barnes, who wants some of his track position back. Barnes taking an interesting call on the two tires before. This time, when it comes to his pit cycle situation, he took 4 tires, so he's only got about a half a set, give or take, in the pit lane. We'll see what happens for him. But Bollinger and Trippy should say, front row to control things up front. It's been getting a little bit dicey. It should get dicey with an about 12-lap shootout for the stage.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we saw it right there in the middle of this stage. I mean, it was getting a little dicey between some of these drivers, and I think that will definitely keep up here as we take the green flag. It'll be about 12 to go toward the end of that stage. And again, stage points on the line here in this Mystic Racing League for the season. So those top 10, very important.
All right, past halfway distance here in the Fesler's Excavating and Pump 200. Get the restart all squared away here. Bollinger, Trippy, front row in the restart zone. They wait to the end. The inside line goes, the outside does not. Trippy's already moved down to the bottom of the racetrack. Bollinger's just about taken off. That might be trouble as Rafferty is lining up for the lead again. Bobby Rafferty gets blocked for a split second, but takes the lead as he's got teammates behind.
Man, big move to the outside there for Rafferty, able to get around Bollinger at the last moment. They take it up to the top side. We'll see Rafferty getting a big push here. Oh, Rafferty into the wall heavy.
Bobby Rafferty ends up shooting hard right into the wall. Something happened to him. His headset apparently died. He just said on the radio. Wow. That is 2 straight weeks where he's been one of the fastest cars in a race, and he's ended up going to the back or not finishing well. This time, it's with a technical issue.
Oh my goodness. I gotta imagine if he reached for his headset or something, because I mean, oh, VR, that makes a lot more sense. I did not know. Oh yeah, wow.
Yeah, when you lose your VR headset, you lose all spatial awareness, right? You have no idea what's going on around you. In this case, he did not know he was coming out of the corner. Very unfortunate for the 7. He's already lost the draft. He's going to likely use that faster pair during the stage caution. 3 wide for the race lead. Contact. Trippy uprooted out of the way by Thornton.
Crash.
Contact into the crash. Caution flag is out. That helps the 7. That does not help his teammates who get involved in this one.
That started out with Andrew Allen there, got sideways and man right in front of the field. Collected here Isaac Wilson and many others.
Time just hit the side of somebody broadside as they came down the racetrack. A lot of people getting destroyed during this caution period. Let's take a look at this replay as the 93 hard on the wall.
Yeah, Isaac Wilson there getting probably the worst of it, and oh my goodness, we'll take a, oh wow, gets split there almost 5 wide. Driver's able to manage around. We'll take a look here along with that 93, and yeah, that's a big hit. Oh my goodness.
And then here comes the second pack. Yeah, a few people in that wave, by the way, did get involved with contact and picked up some damage here. Let's take another look. You're right here.
Oh, Allen gets tagged by his teammate in that 21, and that's what started it all from, what is it, Fast Living Motorsports, and so teammate incident there started the big one.
This became chaos. They are extending the caution so everyone has time to get some of the damage repairs done. It is a quick yellow racetrack normally. As the 27, able to make it through, had to take the apron for it.
Yeah, 27 of Christian Barnes. You said it. He was back on pit lane the last time by. Those 2 tires did not suit him the way he wanted 4 fresh boots. And so he was able to avoid that one by being in the back. But a little bit of a teammate drama here to cause the big one.
Yeah, somebody's in the grass.
Is that
Somebody.
the 63? That's the 63. That's Torrey Brennan. And he is broken right now. I wonder if he limped it around all the way from that incident. Yeah, he cannot.
He is completely destroyed here. With
He cannot turn right.
broken axles on both sides. There was an attempt. There was an attempt to get around the racetrack. Here's how he got involved in it.
Hey, I will say, and he did make it all the way back to the pit box. I just wonder if that was faster than towing automatically. Look here at Tony Brennan in that 63 to what happened in that Valvoline machine. Imagine he got caught up in this big one. Back a lap or 2 here, but we're going to see this action because somehow he made it all the way back around. Oh, yeah. Gets tagged by the 96 and then sandwiched into the wall by that Coors number 9. That was Reggie Kime.
Yeah, this definitely now your big one for the night. Still less than 10. Go ahead.
And so close to making it through, Justin. I mean, so close.
He tried, but not enough space to go. Then you see the 9 slip and slide around to the backdrop. few black flags flying this caution flag, including Bobby Rafferty on safe pit entries, Andrew Shobe doing the same, Caleb Hunt picking up black flag. A lot going on over the radio with the race control, as well as drivers did get the chance to take faster pairs, thankfully, for their chances here. But we're looking at coming to 5 to go in the stage here as the field still trying to get itself sorted. Up front now is Thornton, Trippy second, Holston, Pollock, and McKay the top 5.
Yeah, Thornton, one of those only remaining teammates from Fast Live Motorsports. Obviously, the 21 of Isaac Brock still up here as well. Started that incident with his teammate Andrew Allen. Allen is now back in a 22nd position. So a lot of drivers luckily had their fast repair there, but I would say now probably 1/3 to almost 1/2 of our field probably does not have a fast repair left, and we still have 1/3 of this race left. So you have got to stay out if there's going to be any other action here. You got to be safe.
Wait, we're coming up to the choose here. As the field tries to get itself sorted out and ready to go. Much of the field getting all sorted and ready to go for the upcoming restart here. Lights are out on top of the iRacing pace car. McKay was the first to choose the outside from 4th.
Well,
and a lot of people choosing the bottom.
Look at this, Justin. Colin Bollinger is in the pit lane right now. He just got done in his box. He's on the pit lane right now. He's gonna make it. He's gonna not stop when we get the caution for the second stage.
He hadn't taken the fast repair yet, so he's trying to stretch it out as much as he can here. As the field gets all in position, ready to go here. Gonna be a 4-lap dash to decide stage 2.
Oh, bit checkup here on the bottom in the back lane. A little bit of a checkup there between some of these drivers, but back up front, it's going to be that dash. And man, these drivers are going to have to try to keep it as clean as they can because I know they want these stage points. But again, you've only got that one fast repair, and we still got a lot of laps. But hey, when you need those points, you need the points.
Coming up to the start zone. Bobby Rafferty has just had a crash in the back of the field. Green flag is out, no caution. We keep going for the restart as the 7 got spun around with the checkup to the back. The rest of the field continues to race on.
Yeah, Rafferty able to get it back around, and now the caution comes out. Big wreck in turn number 1.
Caution flag is out. We'll see how this fares now for the stage. Joey Beam amongst those sent hard into the wall. He had started top 5 for the restart. And now he's crashing again.
Tried to keep it together there, and that likely will end our second stage here with this caution. Have to see if we're able to get it going. Most likely not. We'll take a look here at this replay with Beam in that number 41. That's the 71 right behind. Oh yeah, just comes down and gets tagged by Pollock. 3 wide, tight quarters.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage. Might be done for the stage here, we'll see, as the 41 definitely picked up a ton of chassis damage, hence why he spun around. Pit road is still closed.
Yeah, and I can't remember if he used his fast repair earlier. I can't remember if he was involved in our first incident, but again, this is one thing that we're talking about. A lot of those drivers try to avoid this. We'll ride along with Pollock here, and yeah, Beam just comes down.
Still waiting for word if this will be the stage here. Hearing that it's correct, that we will end like this. So the field as it sorts is Thornton, Trippy, Holston, McKay, Janik, Brock, Winkfield, Stoker, Allen, Pollock is your top 10. Still going to have a couple more laps until the end of the stage officially, but that should be the lineup as long as nobody has to duck down to the pit road during its pit road close situation under this caution. Confirm staying caution until they complete lap 80, and then pit road will go open and then turn to 2 to green. So not bad of a second stage, a little bit more attrition in stage 2, Scott.
You definitely saw a good bit more there in stage 2. Some drivers able to survive, some not, and had to use their fast repair. I mean, I think one of the most shocking things that we saw was Rafferty with that headset disconnect. He's still fixing damage for that as of now, but he was on pit road just a moment ago. But Joshua Thornton gets it done here in this second stage, makes his way to the front, able to avoid the incidents that happened not 2 rows behind both times, and he finishes most points in the second stage.
Let's take commercial. We'll be back to cover the pit stop sequence. You're watching VSPEED for more coverage, the MRL, here from Atlanta.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to tonight's coverage of the Fesler's Excavating and Pump 200. Did you know that Fesler's Excavating and Pump are the only exclusive local service providers for grinder pumps? They take pride in being the best in what they do. Their quality of service is what truly sets them apart from the rest. Fesler's Excavating and Pump, the only right choice for your local grinder pump needs, located in Pendleton, Indiana. Currently under caution as stage 2 officially complete. No changes to that running order for the top 10. Thornton, Trippy, Holston, McKay, Janik, Brock, Wingfield, Stoker, Allen, and Pollock taking the green white checkered last time by. The 29 winning stage 2. Pit road opens this time by for what will be a 50-lap third stage, Scott.
Yeah, let's watch these drivers that stay out here. I think Janik is going to be one of the first because a lot of these drivers decided to pit under that last caution. So drivers staying single file here under the lane right now as we get this awesome shot provided by Whiplash Sim Cams. And I'm really excited to see this last stage because I think it's going to be exciting here. 50 laps, and we've already seen quite a bit of action, but a bit of a split decision. Some of these drivers pitting earlier and some deciding to pit now.
Yeah, this could get interesting now for the track position game. Remember, some of those like Janik, Wingfield, Barnes came in earlier in the cycle, absolutely. And now the rest of the field making sure they're good to go. Going to be no green flag pit stops this race, but we'll see how people then use that extra set of tires here as a mistake for the 29.
Yeah, a little bit too far forward in that box. It is so easy to do, but it is a mistake. And especially under caution like this, you will lose a lot of spots. And it's almost less than a second, almost a second, but it matters so much.
First off the lane, Robert McKay. He took 2 tires. A few more people becoming daring to take 2 tires here, because a couple of those who were in the other wave of drivers who just stayed on the racetrack did take 2, or just a faster pair in their cases. So some drivers are going to have a very slippery time here as this run progresses.
Yeah, 2 tires. I mean, we saw earlier, it just, I don't know. We saw Christian Barnes. We saw what happened to him. It didn't suit him well, because the minute we got a caution, he came into pit lane to get 4. And you're just not able to hold the line you're running off the corners the farther and farther we get into a run. And as it comes down to the end, it is so important to have that grip, because late race moves are going to be key. And you got to have as much tire, as much rubber underneath you to be able to make those moves confidently.
So Janik, for the first time tonight, going to get the chance to lead. Looks like he's getting set up with the choose. And so far, no issues with the choose cone tonight. Everyone keeping themselves plenty of space for the choose. There is a lot of space for it with this pavement, mind you.
Yeah, a lot of space here at this track, and so drivers continuing to choose. But hectic third stage upcoming, JP, and I say hectic because I imagine it's going to be.
Possibly, absolutely. Coming up to start lap 84. It's been a blistering night tonight. Also, mind you, brought to you by THDesigns, by Wade Cycles, and by Sofa News. Like to thank them for their support in this series throughout this season and what they do when it comes to supporting the MRL and its various series here on iRacing. But it's Evan Janik who is in control of this field. It's going to make things interesting. The Akron, New York-based driver, 80-plus wins in official competition. He's actually about to race at Lancaster Motorplex in Lancaster, New York, in a street stock this year. Tonight, his 71 car will control the field to begin stage 3. Green flag is out. Bogged down start. The inside did not go. The outside also had to get a push to go.
Yeah, Wingfield not getting a great start there on the inside. Meanwhile, Caleb Hunt and Anthony Trippi linked up here to take the lead off of turn number 2. Will they stay to the high line, or will they jump down to the bottom? Have to see what they decide to do. Staying together right now. Now that bottom lane together. Oh, Trippi cuts across the nose of the 71. Somehow keeps it straight. Oh, now he's sideways.
Now he's wrecking it. Caution flag is out. As around goes Trippi in the pack. The 53 of Bollinger also gets turned around into the grass with the 10. Gillen slips and slides as we're under caution.
Man, I thought Trippi had it saved. That would have been the most impressive save I have seen in a long time. But makes a move, you'll see, off into turn number 3 here. That bottom lane gets together, leaded by that 71 of Janik, and Trippi goes down to the bottom, but it's just too late. Catches the right rear there of that 71 at right front. And somehow, look at this. Slow-mo, he's sideways, and thought he had it saved, but you'll see him cut back to the right here. Gets tagged by Janik, and that's what turns him back up the track. And huge hit from the 34, who we saw had an excellent save earlier, but just the wrong position there.
That was Uman, absolutely. And that causes calamity into the front straight away for a few drivers. We're expecting the potential of that there, and we definitely got it. Reggie Kime also coming from stage right there. Had to come out from the grass once again. So cautions breed cautions all of a sudden. Let's see what happened to the 9. He had been a ways back, actually, after the start.
Yeah, Reggie Kime, no caution yet. You'll see the action is happening up front here. This is when the 07 of Trippy goes sideways and just approaching the action. I mean, he is in the throttle, finally brakes here. Oh, tags the back there. Oh, that was the 08.
Slammed to the back of David Wallace. Wallace adds more damage to his car. He had some problems too on that. Let's see what happened to him.
Yeah, I think it happened. It might have happened in an earlier incident there. Oh yeah, that was the action there for the number 9 and the 08. But I imagine that dent in the nose came from earlier. I've seen a lot of drivers with that here tonight.
Yeah, some of these checkups have caused a lot of damage. It looks like he's picked up the faster pair this time, though. Under caution, Caleb Hunt now the leader over Stoker, Pollock, Janik. Top 4, it is to choose. And it looks like the 78 and the 15 want to work together here. They both chose the bottom to start.
Yeah, and I mean, that's disappointing for Trippy because he had been having a great night. He got out of that first pack in the first stage, was able to get back to them, and in that second stage was able to remain up front and out of the chaos, but gets involved there, tries to come down to try to lead, and it's just too late off the nose of Janik. But here on this front row, it's going to be Pollock and Hunt, and Pollock been in the top 10 almost all night.
Here's last week's winner in Ren once again. Believe he's turned on the broadcast now. That TV was off earlier. I guess he didn't realize that it was off before. Now he's listening in, trying to see what insights he can pick up as we get ready for the restart. See the picture-in-picture and picture-ception start to build up at the very end there. Right now, his 24 car. Still a lap down. He is in line for the lucky dog if we get a caution, though.
I saw him involved in the big one there that was caused earlier with Andrew Allen, and so he'll have to hope for a caution here. I'd be surprised if we didn't get one for him to get back on that lead lap.
Restart zone once again. Closing in on 40 laps to go. Earlier start, Stoker was in the wrong gear, and the outside line takes advantage. Pollock to second. And single file to start this time. The outside did not get going. Reggie Kime coming out in front of the leaders for pit road. It's forcing the drivers up the track.
At Kime, we saw one of those drivers that had problems there under that caution. Single file for the first 4. Oh, but a big move trying to be made by Thornton. He gets blocked there by the 88 of McKay, and that keeps it single file even farther here up in the front. But these drivers are squirreling all around. 23 of Winkfield now tries to go to the outside, but no one is helping him so far. Everyone wants to ride in that bottom line. You'll see farther back, the 88 of McKay trying to catch up.
Trying to build that outside line's momentum right now. McKay getting some pushes from Thornton, who wants his track position back. Right now, seeing those drivers work there fairly well, as that 23 of Winkfield has now fallen right into the clutches of that outside line. Doesn't look like they have the numbers, though, as it looks like they're just trying to get back to the bottom and find holes.
Yeah, Winkfield finds his way back to that bottom. And so you'll see McKay here still leading this line, now all grouped up. 29 there of Thornton, a great pusher here so far for them, being able to keep that run. Again, remember the 29 and 21 are teammates in that Fast Living Motorsports. They shuffle out that 88 3 wide.
Yeah, just choosing who they prefer at this point in terms of the lines. Just continuing to try and work forward and work together on the communication at the moment. And these alliances are getting more and more important. We've seen how important they were in stage 1. Stage 3, now we're in. Those communications going to have to start picking up if you want to get track position. Still 40 to go.
40 to go. At 29 car, we saw him lead, get the most stage points in the second stage, but currently right out of it right now. He's in 10th. So if things were to finish now, you get that 1 point. Again, we'll have the finish. But here, the 92 of Pollock continues here in this second line, and these front four have been tightly packed together on this bottom line.
Oh, hearing there's a crash. No caution. Now the caution waves. Under yellow, Tony Brennan has gone into trouble in the 63.
Oh,
that was in the main group.
Yeah, Tony Brennan, we saw him have a big problem earlier. He was running, he was obviously at a lap down, but oh my gosh, another big hit for that 63. He was already 2 laps down, running with the lead pack. He was running behind Bollinger, who was running 9th. Oh, and the 9 piles in. Oh my goodness.
That was around the time of the caution went out. The 1 also picking up significant damage. The T1D should say. All coming from this little stack right here.
Yeah, you'll see Bollinger get stacked up there, and then a big hit from the 29 to that 63, and that gets him shoved up into that outside wall. And then the 9 here comes piling in again, a slam there by the 1 machine. And so the 9 was going to avoid him on the outside, but with that contact with the 1, that broke Brennan's right front for the second time tonight.
Here's a look on board. Bam, bam, Yosemite Sam.
And look, here comes the 1 in that bright blue car of Gerhardt, trying to get to the outside here. And at that moment, the 63 of Brennan's coming up, and he gets tagged. We'll continue to look here at the back. This is the 9. He was going to go to the outside, and then at right front is broken for that 63, and boom, big contact. Sends him straight to the pit lane. That's exactly where he needed to be.
He's now out of the race as a DNF, by the way. Coma is the first DNF of the list. Isaac Wilson, still 15 laps down, is now pulled back onto the race car. It's his incident. Trippy now out of the race as well. After his incident a few laps ago, Tony Brennan now officially out. Still 26 cars running. Hunt still leading this pack for the time being as we get ready for the shoes coming up here. So at the moment, still 21 still in the lead lap. Not too much attrition, but it's starting to change now that we get later in the night.
And things changing for these drivers. We continue on. We just under 35 laps to go, and it's coming near to the end. And I don't think this action is going to let up, Justin, because again, these drivers want these wins. And we saw Ren be able to get it last week with a very close finish, but these wins are extremely important for the points to be able to make it to these playoffs, and that's something that you absolutely want. And what driver doesn't want the win, even if it wasn't for points or anything else? Who doesn't want the win? So I think we're going to see continued chaos.
Looking like much of the field will keep pacing here. The lights are still on top of the iRacing pace car. I believe they extended this caution period to allow the field to be able to get repairs, hence why there was no choose this time. And not a surprise with some of the cars built up into that incident. Brett Wren, by the way, got the lucky dog this caution, so the 24 gets a lucky break here.
Yeah, we just talked about it a minute ago that he was in line for that, and I had said that I would be surprised if we didn't get a caution for him to get that, and well, we got it just 1.5 laps later.
As tonight's main sponsor all over the race car. Trying to make them proud here tonight. Still has to restart from 22nd. He picked up an EOL. He also sped in the pits. A lot of people are making mistakes on pit road, I've noticed here tonight. Whether it be speeding for portions of the racetrack with the cone, trying to figure that out, because there's technically 2 different speed limits around the pit lane, to those peeling off of turn 4 just because they're used to coming in off pit road of turn 4.
Yeah, at some point we're going to have to ask Pollock what those are. I'm so curious now.
Yeah, I'm somewhat invested in it. see what happens if we get a chance next caution, because he is choosing the inside line this restart. Going to be in position here to push the back of Hunt. Janik, the first one to choose the outside. Christian Barnes has picked up rear end damage as the race now gone onto the 27 as well. We'll see what happens with him third in line. Some people are starting to add and accumulate damage now too.
Yeah, a lot of it, not enough to be able to come down to use your fast repair, because again, you want to save that. If you've got some minimal damage, it's something that you might be able to live with, because again, we could have a big incident at any moment and you could be involved and need that fast repair. Most of our field tonight has used their fast repair, so few drivers still have it, but Barnes being one of those that still does, and you want to hold on to that for as long as possible.
Coming up to the restart zone in a couple quarters time. Hunt, Janik, Pollock, Stoker, Thornton, Barnes, Brock, Holston, Allen, Shobe, amongst your top 10 for this upcoming restart. Of note, Bobby Rafferty currently scored around the 11th position with the choose cone situation. He is slowly marching his way back up through the field. We'll see if he's able to get himself back up fully. But so far, it's been back and forth for what line's been better. This time, about even on the front row. The second row, both cars didn't go. Still side by side for the race lead as Janik tries to pull around on his own. No help though. The help is trying to build up the numbers as Pollock pushes Hunt.
Yeah, Landon Stoker coming here with a big run to the back of Janik on the outside. That run all coming from Joshua Thornton in that 29. I think he might be one of the most aggressive pushers that we've been able to see, and Pollock almost gets shuffled out there. You'll see drivers continue to drift up off these corners. So difficult to hold your lane, especially as we continue to wear these tires. Double file from fourth on back. And so action trying to commence. Drivers getting squirrely.
Still 32 laps to work with here as the outside line starts to go backwards. That starts to lose numbers here. So it becomes the question, when do you want to be in the go lane, so to speak? When do you want to try and make your moves at this point? Still a lot of time to think, but these laps blister up by fast.
Yeah, I mean, anything before 5 to go, and I want to ride. I mean, I want to keep myself safe as best as I can, because you can absolutely make it from anywhere in this pack to the front within 5 laps easily. I mean, you could do it within 2. And so I want to be safe until then. We saw 3 wide there almost for a moment with the 29 car. At 34 back again after big damage earlier. But yeah, some of these drivers trying to take it double wide and some trying to keep it single file.
Their push once again for the 71, getting shoved along by the 15 this time. CM being one of the more aggressive people when it comes to bump drafting around this racetrack. Most people have not been this daring on the push.
Yeah, I mean, it is dangerous, especially coming off of those corners. You can get loose. We saw it earlier with that 34 of Ullman. Got a push from the 29 of Thornton, and it sent him down sideways, and he was able to save it. But again, these pushes have to be calculated. They have to be timed well. And I think Stroker here and there, the 29 of Thornton, two of the most aggressive tonight.
Starting to get a little bit swervy down the front straightaway, a couple cars. Then outside, putting on some good momentum here. And I'm noticing more people as well have picked up on the side drafting too to get these lanes moving, to be able to pull back their competitors compared to earlier there where there was not as much of it in most cases. Now people are starting to, well, give a lot of space around here, Scott. Try and side draft a lot of the corners.
I mean, again, with that update, it has so much effect on these next-gen cars now, so it is really important as caution flies. Incident back here in the back with the 88 of McKay being one involved.
Under yellow, it was for about 21st position. McKay hard in the wall. A couple others also. Gerhardt was in it. Let's see what happened here. Watch these blue cars.
Oh, man. Yeah, he got real loose there into turn one, had to correct it by turning to the right and got into Gerhardt, and then boom, big hit here for the 88 of McKay. That's not often something you see entering turn one. That's something you would have seen on the old Atlanta, not new Atlanta.
Here's a look from McKay. Yeah, just corrected right up into him. That caused a lot of damage to his race car with that more contact. So, unsafe pit entry as well for the 88 for good measure. Bollinger just came down to pit this caution.
Gotta imagine with all of these laps that he might need some extra fuel. And I mean, of course, we've been able to see him come from mid-pack all the way to the front about four times or so by now. So not a bad call here to come in, top off, maybe get some of those tires. We talked about them. They had extra set, so you will see Bollinger come in here and take on that extra set.
I mean, why not? Get yourself some extra grip. That might be helpful if we get a long run for the final 10 laps, maybe.
We've seen him make some different strategy calls and a lot of other drivers here tonight. And then he does another one here. Will that pay off in the end?
Caleb Hunt's been doing a great job, though, controlling the front, though, you would have to say, Scott. He's controlled this race lead now for 22 laps. That's the second most amount of laps for anybody here tonight.
Yeah, Hunt being able to take it in that 78. He's had it for quite a while and has been able to keep it up front since he got it. You saw that push from Trippy earlier, and we saw that incident out of turn 4. Ever since then, he has been commanding it, and he hopes to keep it here with 25 to go.
Easier said than done, choosing this time. Looks like he's choosing the bottom. Almost everybody chooses the bottom of the top 5 or so. Most of the top 10 choosing the bottom.
Yeah, I think it was, I want to say Thornton being one of the first cars and Allen being one of the first car to take that outside. So Allen goes from, I think, about 7th or 8th to the front row.
Can he keep it there is the main question. It's people saying, why not take the free real estate? But now we'll come to 23 laps to go. And the time of these restarts have been so critical tonight. Just to be able to make sure your lane has a decent jump. Momentum's been everything in the restart zone.
It has been key, and we've seen a lot of times Caleb Hunt or whoever is the control car able to get a good jump. Sometimes drivers behind them not so able, but I think with Thornton lined up here in the second row on the outside and Andrew Allen on the front row, those two teammates, Thornton being one of the most aggressive pushers, I think we're going to see a great push here from the outside.
Coming up to the restart. Hunt, and now the outside Allen. Allen had been 7th entering the choose, now gets to be on the front row. Will this work out for him and Thornton? About to find out what's going to be the case here. Restart zone. Green flag is out. Great restart for the front row. Second row a little bit more bogged down, but both those cars on the front row went equal.
Yeah, Thornton not getting the best start as I thought he would, but then there's Bobby Rafferty back up to near the front since that incident early on when his headset disconnected. Now Thornton gets back to the rear end of his teammate to Andrew Allen in that 96, and they are lined up and together on the top. New leader here, Andrew Allen, but will Caleb Hunt have the momentum down on the bottom?
That outside line started to walk up the track a little bit on some of these runs already. Pushing up hard, goes the outside for Allen. A lot of space as they try to run by the green white. Now Hunt now drips his way up. Allen gets himself clear down the backstretch, does not move down with his teammate.
They don't move down, they stay up top, and 96 out here far, gonna have to drift back. That gives it back to Caleb Hunt, so they're taking it lap for lap now, and you can't get too far out front of the people behind you in that draft because you will come back quickly, and that will slow your line. Oh man, big time loose there for Andrew Allen on the outside. They are squirrely here.
We're around that point on green flag laps at least, where you would start to see the tires really start to fall off. We're really starting to see that Allen, one of those drivers who risked it on pit strategy. One of the last times he came down, he had a 58-second pit stop the previous time with some of the repairs. Now, he is really wishy-washy in these corners. How long does the pack just maintain itself knowing how much this is a bobble up front?
I don't know. I mean, I think Thornton, yes, he's a good pusher, but I think sometimes he can be too aggressive on these pushes. And I think we've seen it almost nearly cause some incidents. And we saw one teammate wreck another earlier with Isaac Brock getting into Andrew Allen. And we don't want to see another teammate deal with the Fast Living Motorsports.
Looking from Hunt. Hunt, you can see him trying to be careful with the throttle a little bit, down some of these corners and some of this throttle modulation. In some cases, just trying to let it roll through the throttle, try and get it where it's fast but not too fast.
Top line, top four here on the top, all together now. You see those runs from Thornton continue to solidify themselves, but now here the bottom gets all together, so it's back and forth, high line, low line, high line, low line.
Yeah, almost like a tennis match. Back and forth in terms of the volleys and the rallies. This time Hunt, his volley caused him to get loose a little bit. You'd have to, oh, trouble, the outside line. 3 cars just slammed the outside wall.
Yeah, all 3 of those front leaders just got the wall on the exit of the D straightaway. No damage to them, and oh my goodness.
No damage for any of them, interestingly enough. We stay green. Again, the 96, the 29, and the 7 all washed up last time by. And now they look to try and zip around the 7. You see him. Let's take a look at the VSPEED instant replay and see this.
Yeah, watch along here with Rafferty, Thornton, and Allen. They're all going to get the wall here on the exit of the front straightaway here out of turn number 4. Then through the oval here, right here, this wall, they're going to get it. Boom! All 3 of them.
All 4 of them. Brock also hit it.
Somehow they were able to keep it straight, no damage, and they're still side by side with Hunt.
Less than 15 laps to go. Time ticking away. The outside starting to lose momentum a little bit for those behind the top 3, it looks like a little bit. It's almost looking like Rafferty's thinking about that gap that keeps opening up here with the way his car just tries to poke and prod, but he hasn't been willing to take it 3 wide yet.
Yeah, I think Rafferty wants to get down in front of Hunt. I don't think he wants to be stuck here in between these guys from the Living Fast Motorsports crew. He knows they're a bit aggressive on their pushes, and I think he wants to get down to the bottom when he can. But no hole has opened up for him.
Now to 13 laps to go now in this one. Just trying to solidify themselves the right spot. Rafferty offset for the time being. Still, right now, 19 cars separated by 1.1 seconds. Nobody take a deep breath. Rafferty goes 3 wide contact. A crash into 3. Thornton into the wall. Caution flag is out. Beam loses an axle. Rafferty also picks up significant damage.
Yeah, Rafferty right in front of that one, nowhere to go. He had been fixing damage from that earlier incident of his headset disconnecting all night long, and Thornton goes sideways in front.
Under caution, let's see if we can take a look here. Rafferty took the time to go for the hole. The hole closed on him.
Oh. Yeah, and I gotta wonder right there if the 29 was squirreling a little bit. Oh man, just didn't work out.
He wanted to go, and now Rafferty is officially out of the race. Let's see a look once again from Thornton.
Yeah, I just think Thornton, I just think he's been a little bit loose all night long. Hasn't quite been able to solidify his lane there, and on the entry of turn number 3, just started squirreling a little bit.
And that also collected others like Beam, who is now officially out of the race. The DNF list is starting to really add itself in terms of names. Let's see what happened to the 41.
Yeah, back here about 3 rows back from the incident. Big contact with the 21 there of Isaac Brock, and then he's up against the fence.
Look on board, this is the 41.
Oh yeah, nowhere to go.
Fell right in his lap.
And that'll be night done for Joey Beam. Second big incident he's been involved in, no fast repair left. And with only 12 to go.
Oh, Caleb Hunt from up front saying, I want to take tires here.
Interesting call. I'm surprised to see anyone pit now. And you know who is probably going to play and love that this is all happening? At 53 and of Bollinger. He pitted earlier on, and this is going to move him up.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. But with 2 laps until the green flag, we are going to look at it about an 8-lap dash to decide this one. Are the fresh tires going to be able to get through that many cars, though? You're talking about more than 10 drivers that are staying out here.
You're going to have to be aggressive. You're going to have to use those new boots to be able to carve through this field and work together with those drivers around you, because if not, there will not be enough time. And again, of course, anything can happen, but think about it. Almost everyone is going to be being aggressive here. Blocks, moves, making it 3 wide, who knows? So you're not going to be the only car being aggressive, and so you're going to have to deal with everyone else around you.
How's this going to fare out, though, for the tire spin possibly? Do you expect tire spin for this restart?
I think we've seen a little bit of it. I think that's why we've seen a lot of times drivers that aren't in control not getting a great start, but I don't think we'll see anything more than we've seen already. It's caused a little bit of a checkup, but I think a lot of drivers have been expecting it, so I don't think we'll see anything that we haven't already.
So we'll see what the Choose has in store for us here. Choose this time by. And it looks like Barnes is already indicating no, he'll go to the bottom. He thought about it. The first up top is the 8. In fact, of Holston.
Did you see Andrew Allen choosing there? He was, well, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, he was definitely not on that painted bottom line. He was about a lane or a lane and a half up. I know I'm not picky about it, but look, This league made it very clear about these choosing rules, about being on the bottom line or on the wall, and Allen was not. And so I'm wondering if race control might say something about that, maybe post-race.
There is a possibility. Let's see. Coming to the restart here. Once again, Andrew Allen in control. Holston going from 5th to 1st, or 2nd, should say, with the choose. Pollock and Wingfield. Barnes and Uman. They've given Andrew Allen a warning for the choose situation. So they have given him a warning for that, where they told him he needs to be by the red line next time for the choose. Here comes the pace car. An 8-lap dash here on VSPEED. Allen on the gas, goes early. Holston doesn't go. The outside with a bad start. Wingfield already moving to the bottom. Pollock moves up top side as drivers try to see what they do for the lead. Wingfield nearly spun it. One driver, Janik, underneath the red line, gets dropped out of the top 10.
Yeah, Janik there having a problem out of turn number 2, able to save it, but goes back out of the top 10. And look who's back in the top 10. It's your winner from last week, Brett Wren. Can he go back-to-back here tonight, super speedway to super speedway? Oh, man. Caution is out for incident in the back. We almost saw an incident there between Holston and Pollock, but man, the 69's involved again.
More caution flag drama. This was at the back of the lead group. The 69 is show turned broadside across the field.
See Shope right here. Oh yeah, just gets McKay and him 3 wide there for a moment. And oh my goodness, chaos ensues into turn number 1. Shope already in the pit lane, as you can see right there. But yeah, 3 wide just did not work there entering turn number 1.
At least there are 7 or 8 cars involved in this contact this time. Knobsteiner pushed right into it. And a lot of people pick up damage as the field tries to catch the pace car. Here's a look at the replay again from Isaac Brock's view.
Yeah, Brock been involved in a few here tonight. You'll see right here in front. Shope goes sideways up into the wall. That's the 08. And oh my gosh, what a pathway. Brock made it through. Just a little bit of zigzagging.
Just a little bit. See this once again. Zig. And then zag as the bumper goes flying. And a car goes flying next to him.
Oh my goodness. I thought he got tagged. I think he got tagged in that left rear there, and he was able to keep it straight.
They did extend the caution this period, so this is going to get really interesting here, depending on what happens. We might get to an actual GWC, if not close to it here, Scott.
Yeah, we'll definitely get close with this extended caution. I think we'll have, I think we'll see probably green at around 3 laps. And so just one more lap than we would see a natural green, white, checkered. But again, I'm going to say it again, this action is going to continue as we see it here. Drivers extremely hungry for this win, and let's look at it. 6th place, Brett Wren won last week. We've seen a lot of these drivers up here, up in the top. Andrew Allen, he has had a problem tonight. He got wrecked out earlier, but he is now still up front yet again. Christian Barnes, he has been in the top 5, I think, almost every moment here tonight. Tried 2 tires earlier, did not work for him, and has been up front with 4. So a lot of drivers up here can get the win. And let's look back in 9th position. It's Colin Bollinger, and he obviously put on those boots a little bit ago, but he seemed that he has had the speed tonight, just has been waiting his time and biding his time.
And confirm this will be a natural green-white checker. We're at 4 laps to go. The one-to-go signal will be at 3 laps to go. And this now gets dramatic. How do you build up the run to try and make the pass here? How would you do it, Scott?
Oh, man. I mean, it's difficult because it changes at every single moment. I mean, let's think about it from, let's start from the outside rows perspective. These guys are going to be double file to the end with this green-white checkered. So you have to find the momentum quickly. And whether that be the top or the bottom, you have to find a way to be in your own line, and I think that's going to be by a way of a driver making it 3 wide. And you're going to have to hope that you either have a teammate or someone daring enough to go with you if you make it 3 wide, because if you go out alone, you are going to the back and you will not win here tonight. I think it's going to be a move to make it 3 wide that is going to be one that might get a driver up front to win this race.
See those movers, absolutely. Allen originally started this race in 28th place. What a night for him. Back and forth up towards the front for Chevy Guy. But now, we come up to the choose. Gonna be important to make sure you follow the choose rules here. Does Barnes choose the top? No, he'll choose the bottom as the leader. Holston choosing top.
Yeah, and I saw a lot of drivers here near the wall, near the line, and I watched Andrew Allen here, and he was about a lane off the wall, and so he better hope that race control was happy enough with that, because he already got his warning for the night.
Here are the points as they run for the top 5, by the way. With how things are going for Brett, theoretically, would have a good points night here. Drivers like Holston and more that would jump up significant positions here. Let's find out what happens here. McKay going to the back of the field for the EOL. And we get ready for a 2-lap dash to decide this one. 2 laps to decide it for the Fesler's Excavating and Pump 200. Well, 2 hours of action comes to a close with this run to the finish here. iRacing pace car ready to drop off in turn 4. Roll through to the start. Oh, the outside, trying to jump the inside. Row 2 trying to get the push. Barnes tries to run away. Holston now gets blocked. Down to the bottom goes Barnes.
Holston gets blocked there on the top. Barnes going to fall back here to Winkfield. And so that's going to give Holston the run. He's got Andrew on. Oh, 3 wide there. The 27 of Barnes gets pushed to the middle. He's going to go sideways almost. But it's going to be 3 wide. He's shuffled to the back. Holston out front. Andrew Allen right behind.
Allen takes away the top line. He gets the side draft. You have to take the white flag. It's a race to the checker. They get to the white. Final time around from Atlanta.
Andrew Allen here sticks to the top. Big push here coming from Pollock. Holston on the bottom. Oh, big wiggle. Allen is sideways. Big wreck. This is going to be it. Holston still out front. We're going to go all the way to the end. No white, no checkered flag, no caution.
Winkfield stays in the bumper of Holston. Now peels him off the bottom. Contact, he wiggles him up the track. Here comes the run up the middle by SB. SB slips and slides, but it's Holston at the line who gets it by 0.091 seconds.
Oh my goodness, I thought SB was gonna come right through the middle to get it done. Squeezed Winkfield down low, and that got them both sideways and gave the 8 there just enough time. Holston gets it done here tonight, and wow, what a run to the end. That was a lot.
Absolutely was a lot, but the 8 gets to celebrate the victory here tonight. Gets it done with 1 lap led in the very end this evening. And it's FSR that's able to come home with the victory. How about that?
I mean, what a run from Holston. We saw him pretty much all over the board tonight. I would say he was solidly within the top 15 most of the night and just bided his time up until the end. Started up on the front row there on that outside, was able to make the blocks he needed. Then we saw that contact between Andrew Allen and Pollock in the back that got them sideways and left that bottom lane to fend for themselves.
Let's take a look at this finish here. What a wild finish once again here. It started with the 27 getting uprooted there, and that opened up the door for a wild run to the end. Still coming up to the restart zone with the replay, but this was a wild end to the race. The 27 got a great jump here, Scott, but after that, the jump was too big. The 23 did not want to give him space on the bottom.
Yeah, no, the 23, you see them get back together here for just a moment, but as we come back around, that's going to slip him out. Yeah, Winkfield was able to squeeze the nose just enough down to the bottom to squeeze that 27 out of line, and that left him back invulnerable. Nothing he was able to do then back there. Then we look forward to Pollock here and that 96 of Allen. And they solidify that lane. White flag comes out here. See Holston still on the bottom, but here is going to come that contact from Pollock.
Right here, got a bump from behind, pushed him 3 wide, then gets ping-ponged as they crash in the back.
Yeah, Barnes involved in that one as well after getting put 3 wide and slipped back there. Then it's all up to Holston. He's got to make the blocks. He gets a little high out of turn number 4. That opens the door for Winkfield. And then right here off the bottom, they both get a little slowed after making that contact. It opens the door for Espy, but Espy cuts down the track right here, gets in it with Winkfield. They both go sideways through the grass. And there, Holston had just enough speed to get across the line before both of them.
Janik actually took away second spot as they slipped and slid their way too. Just drove in the tire tracks. The 8 takes a second spot. Not a bad way to finish things out. Let's take a quick break. Post-race results and interviews coming up in a moment. You're watching VSPEED.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to iRacing's virtual Atlanta Motor Speedway for more coverage of the Fesler's Excavating Pump 200 here on VSPEED. An interesting finish to the second race of the Mystic Racing League season. Let's take a look at your unofficial race results. Adam Holston gets the win tonight by near a tenth of a second. Evan Janik comes away second. Aaron Espy, the top three. We'll speak with them in just a bit. Uman in fourth, Winkfield in fifth with Bollinger in sixth. Then you have Kime recovering from multiple medleys of incidents for seventh. Then Caleb Hunt, Zach White, and Robert McKay, the top 10 tonight, Scott.
Back in 11th, it was that aggressive pusher of Joshua Thornton. Then it was last week's winner, Brett Wren, in that 5-star machine team win. There for up front with Holston. Then back in 13th, 14th, it was Christian Barnes and Craig Hawkins. 15th and 16th, it was Andrew Allen and Aubrey Lord. Then it's Alex Pollock and Isaac Brock, 17th and 18th. And 19th and 20th was Benjamin Gerhardt and Jared Kopensnyder.
Knopsnyder in 20th position, absolutely. 21st went to Stoker. Then Wallace, 6 laps down, was Shob, along with Gillen. It's the 9-lap down mark. Bobby Rafferty, 12 down. It's DNF with Joey Beam in 26. Brennan, Tribute, Wilson, McComas as well. Rounding out the field, 30 cars made the starts tonight. And the very end, 18 took the checker flag at least. Adam Holston comes away as the race victor here tonight. Just 1 lap led the final one. Adam, talk to us through what you've seen and what was going through your mind on that final restart.
Well, I decided that nobody went to the high line on the choose, so I decided to start up there and see if that would work out. And sure enough, I don't think the inside line had too good of a start, and I managed to get out front. And I was just worried about the outside line coming up and getting me, but in reality, it was the dude behind me. He managed to squeeze below me there and send me up the track. And I seen another car coming down the middle, and I thought it was over for me with the pace he was coming at. And I don't really know what happened there, but he got down into the dude below him, and I managed to stick out the win.
How big is this win? It's your second win, the team's second win in the Cup Series for 5-Star Racing Team.
Yeah, it feels good. Definitely to follow up that win that my teammate Brett got. It's definitely a big win for the team.
Now, next race is going to be the real start to the championship in theory. Phoenix Raceway is next on the docket. Your thoughts headed going to Phoenix and racing under the lights there?
Well, I've really not had too much luck at Phoenix in the past, and I'm just going to have to put some practice in and see where we end up.
Any shout-outs you like to give here tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my sponsors, Holston Concrete and Workboat Life, and I'd like to thank my teammates at 5-Star Racing and my boy Ricky LaFleur out there in the crowd.
Congratulations on the win here tonight.
Thank you, sir.
Adam Holston coming away with the win here tonight in this one. Second spot went to Evan Janik. He's catching up with Scott.
Yeah, Evan Janik here coming home second. And oh my goodness, what a race it was for you. You're in the top 10 all night long, but right there coming to 2 to go, you start 9th on the inside, and you're able to survive that first incident on the outside. When you saw that 53 coming down at you, did you think day was done?
To be honest with you, I really didn't see it. My spotter was just yelling at me to stay low and stay in it, and that's what I did.
So once you stayed low and you got through it, you were cycled out 4th right there. You've got 3 of these guys in front of you, SB, Holston, and Winkfield. What are you thinking coming down to the end of the checkered right there? Is there anything you can do, or was it, foot to the floor at that point?
Yeah, at that point, they all had a run and I didn't, so I wouldn't have been able to get to them even if I wanted to. So I just stayed in it, knew I was going to at least come in 4th, which isn't a bad day, and they ended up getting together in front of me, and I was able to get second. So pretty happy with that.
Definitely, absolutely. We talked about it. You ran up front all night. What more do you think you needed tonight to set yourself up on that final restart?
Luck. I mean, I hate these super speedway races. I'm ready to be on a oval track that doesn't require drafting, but I mean, just luck. That's what it comes down to with these things.
Well, we go to one of those oval tracks next week at Phoenix. Tell me what your expectations are there and how you think you'll fare.
Phoenix has been really good to me, so I am much looking forward to that race. So, but you never know. This is the first year with this group, so anybody can surprise you.
Well, before we let you go tonight, Evan, anyone you'd like to thank?
Trey, my spotter. He's put a lot of his own personal time into this, so thank you to him and everybody watching at home.
Well, we appreciate you tonight, Evan. Hopefully we'll see you up front next week at Phoenix.
We'll make it a plan.
Expect to see that 71 of Janik fighting for it next week at Phoenix. We've got Aaron Espy here running up in the third position with Justin.
Aaron Espy coming away in the third position here tonight. Had the slide in the grass, in fact, there, Aaron, at the finish. What did you see for that final restart?
Well, when I got that run, I was going to take it to the outside, and the 8 took it. So my only shot for the win was to split it. I took it, got a little loose. I didn't mean to make contact with the 23, but when it happened, I just kept it pinned, and whatever happened, happened.
This race was a bit of a blender in terms of emotions here, too. At one point, you were a lap down, lost the draft, was running at the very back of the field. How difficult was this race to be able to find your way to plot and plan back at the front, knowing how tricky it was to make your way to the front until the very end?
Yeah, so I actually missed qualifying, and I was dealing with the admins to see what I had to do at the start of the race, and when it went green, I wasn't even ready for it. I ended up getting so far back, lost the draft, and then when we were battling a lap down, I ended up getting hooked into the wall. That was pretty early. Had to use my only faster pair, so I figured I would just ride around at the back for the whole race and just wait till the end, see what we had.
Well, on that note, what do you expect when it comes to Phoenix next week?
Oh, I'm ready for it. I'm ready to get off the plate track, so I think I'm done with the drafting for a while.
Well, that's good news because the next drafting track technically wouldn't be until 2 weeks from now at Auto Club. Anyone you want to give a shout out to here tonight?
Yeah, my teammate David Moore. He wasn't in the race today, but he'll be back for Phoenix.
Congratulations on the run here tonight.
All right, thank you.
I'd like to thank the entire top three for taking time to speak with us during post-race coverage here on VSPEED. Your thoughts tonight here, Scott, as we close things out and get ready for the desert next.
Definitely saw some calamity here tonight, and oh my goodness, it was definitely a race, and a race to the finish it was. Great win there for Holston, and so I thought it was all around a great night. And next week we go to Phoenix, and I'm definitely excited about it. I'm going to miss you next week. I'm going to be with my girlfriend on Valentine's Day, but man, what a hot night it is going to be in the desert, and it is going to be fun at Phoenix at the first time we see these guys this season at a non-drafting oval.
It'll be interesting. An 8:15 p.m. start just about on Valentine's Day. Be sure to tune in once again for the Mystic Racing League from Phoenix. On that note, it's time to say goodbye. I'd like to thank everyone for their part in tonight's action. So I'd like to thank the sponsors, Fesler's Excavating and Pump. Did you know that Fesler's Excavating and Pump are the only exclusive local service installers for grinder pumps? They take pride in being the best in what they do. Their quality of service is what they truly sets us apart from the rest. Fesler's Excavating and Pump, the only right choice for your local grinder pump needs, located in Pendleton, Indiana. Tonight also brought to you by Wade Cycles of Columbus, Indiana, by Sofa News, and by THDesigns. I'd like to thank them for all their support of this series here tonight. But it's just about time to say goodbye. For Scott Shive, for DJ Line, for everyone at VSPEED, I'm Justin Prince saying so long. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night from Atlanta.